Hey, I'm taking the day off today. Wanted to announce a couple things. This channel's been pretty much just straight mic-free content for a while. I finished the Berseria run quite some time ago, several weeks ago, and I played some other stuff in the meantime. I did a couple guides for River City Ransom. I did some guides for Berseria, and then I had that hand problem, and that is still ongoing. But luckily, I went to the doctor a couple weeks ago, and they stretched my hands, and they said they were fine. Even if they aren't, hand problems are not a big deal, unless they get like decapitated or something. But I did have to take a break for a while, and that's why I did not do a whole lot the past few weeks. I finished that Berseria run, and then I got the hand problems, which lines up with it being, just overworking the hands. I did play almost 100 hours of that game. I still have not even finished some of the stuff. I haven't finished the cameo battle. I didn't really care to do the side quests. I'm not really a big achievement hunter, and Tales games always have at least one trophy that's just ridiculously grindy. I've almost never really bothered with. The only Tales Platinum I've ever gotten was the one for Hearts R, and that was mostly because it was a portable game. I think the last trophy I had to get was the one where you had to max out your cooking level. I remember doing that on the bus back from the mall, like multiple times. Like it was pretty much just mashing the X button past that a certain point. Right now, the channel's in kind of a weird phase right now, and it has nothing to do with my mental health or my physical health, my hands or anything. It's mostly just been I can't really afford new stuff. Tokiden 2 is something that I'd like to get. Hopefully, I can manage to get that funded either through my family or through the support of you guys. But it's mostly just been there hasn't really been a whole lot on the horizon. Regardless, Tokiden 2, I will do either way. It's just if I don't get help from my family or I don't get help from my viewers, then I'll just get it next month. But I don't really have a tentative schedule of projects that I'll be doing past Tokiden 2. There really isn't anything on the horizon at all. Nair, I decided to not get, even though they did announce the PC version, unlike last time I did one of these videos. I decided to not get it because it seems like the combat, forgive me if this is wrong, but from what little I've watched of it, I've watched a couple hours of footage, it seems like the open world would really bog down on me. Also, the depressing plot that director always puts in his games is really not something I need to be doing right now. I need to recover from this relapse. I've had so many things happen to me over the past year. I hope you guys appreciate that I've done this every day for over a year. I have been through a ridiculous amount of emotional and physical turmoil, and all the physical turmoil is caused by my emotional turmoil. So there have been some times where I've had to scale things back. Berserk was something I was not really terribly interested in to begin with. I hear that the port for that has been a varying experience for a lot of people. Some people have said it works fine, and other people have said they have, a computer that can run Crysis at 4K or whatever, and it still runs badly. So, I don't know, that's kind of doesn't really bode too well for the Tokiden 2 port, but I want to play the game anyway. I played the PS4 demo yesterday, as you guys saw. I played about a half hour of it. I decided it wasn't worth putting that much more time into, since the whole point of that demo is you're supposed to grind in it until you get the full version and you carry over your progress. But obviously, I would be getting it for PC even if it did not have the 60 FPS frame rate increase, because my capture card is still on the fritz, and honestly, it really hasn't been much of a priority for me to get a new one at this point, because there's really not much coming out on PS4 that I can't get on PC. The Japanese gaming industry in general has been going through a lot of transitional phases, much like I have been. And now, most games come out day and date on PC, and if they don't, then they come out when they're localized. Berserk obviously came out last year in Japan, but when they localized it, it came out the same day as the console versions. And there hasn't really been a whole lot that's been announced as far as we know that I'd be getting anytime soon. The Switch, I know some people probably want Switch port reviews. My Vita port review series was never really something I did in an attempt to garner viewership. I just did it because I know that there aren't many channels that focus on Vita ports, and I had a vast majority of the big Vita ports. Obviously, the Vita is kind of dying down right now, so I have not been using that capture card much. I will be using it for Darius Burst Chronicle Savior stuff, since I did not want to buy the PC version of that game because the DLC is very pricey. It hasn't been a whole lot of incentive to use that capture card either. Obviously, the Vita is not really getting a whole lot of big games anymore. The last big one is probably going to be East 8. After that, it's probably going to be Bloodstained. Uh, I kind of have my doubts that Bloodstained will even hit the Vita. They pushed that game back to next year, and I don't know. I have a feeling that it's probably going to have some serious compromises. I doubt that they'll be able to get it running at 60 FPS. So I probably wouldn't even get that for Vita. They've already said that the Wii U version is going to be converted to a Switch version. So it's mostly just a lot of the equipment that I have and a lot of the game releases just flat out don't interest me right now, and there hasn't been a whole lot. Now, normally I plan out my releases months in advance. Stuff like Tokiden I planned out quite some time ago. That was going to be something that I was going to cover, the moment that it got released. Other stuff like Berseria, I bought that game about a month or even more, prior. I pre-ordered it pretty much as soon as possible. It's kind of just a weird period right now. Obviously, I did do a big PC upgrade, so I got a new video card. I will be getting some more RAM, maybe a new processor if necessary, but I don't know. A lot of the stuff that I've seen about processor seems that an i5, you don't really need much more than that right now, unless you're playing the big AAA stuff, which I'm not really interested in. So my birthday is actually going to be on Sunday. The initial plan was to not really do anything for my birthday or have any kind of event at all on my birthday because I was going to be spending it with my friends, but there's been a number of things that happened. My friends have had a number of things have happened to them, some medical issues and some stress and stuff like that. It just not was in the cards for me to go up there for my birthday this year, which I'm pretty bummed out about. I really could have used their company with all the stress I've been under. I ended up buying my groceries and necessities for the month, assuming that they would not be able to host me, and it ended up being the case. So I don't really have any funds to get any kind of crazy prizes like I normally do for my birthday, but I do have a bunch of stuff from Humble Bundle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it both on my stream to try to raise some funds for Tokiden 2, and if I do get that game funded through my family, then it will probably go towards another project. I will have to look at the release date schedule and keep you guys updated. But what I would like to do is on here, you can go ahead and post a comment on the content that you've enjoyed the most throughout the past year. I think it would mean a lot from me to get that kind of feedback because it's been very difficult to keep the channel running throughout all the depression and anxiety that I've had. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me I'm fine. They tell me to just manage my anxiety. They tell me, it's probably just stress and anxiety. And that's been kind of hard to deal with. You might think, if you don't deal with mental illness, that hearing that it's just anxiety and stress would be a relief, but in a way it can be even more stressful depending on how severe your disorder is, because obviously you can't cure anxiety and stress. You have to just kind of learn how to manage and mitigate it. And that's what I've been dealing with a lot. I hope that once these hand problems stabilize and stuff like that, that maybe I'll be back in full force. But doing the Berseria run kind of gave me back the work ethic that I've been kind of missing for a while. It gave me something that I wanted to start and I wanted to see through to the end. I've never actually finished a Tails challenge run before. I was working really hard on the Heartsar combo command run, and then I just got all those computer problems and stuff, and I just didn't really have the motivation to continue after I got the computer back. So it's cool that I finished one. There's been quite a few cheat engine updates and stuff with like being able to play as the boss characters and stuff like that. Apparently there's been a lot of stuff too. You can actually edit your equipment and get the exact skills that you want as well. So I might go back to the game at some point. I have been resting my hands. They have gotten better quite a bit. I actually started some new vitamins about 2 weeks ago, which will probably take another 2 or 3 weeks before I actually see any noticeable difference. But I did reduce the gaming that I did quite a bit, and a lot of that has just been because, not because of the hand pain. And after they told me that my hands were fine, they told me that I could still game. They didn't tell me anything catastrophic like I couldn't game anymore. It's just that there hasn't been much to really cover. Tokiden 2, if I do get it funded, I would like to get out some guides for that because I know that the guides that I did for Tokiden Kiwami actually performed pretty well, because I know in the hunting game community, Tokiden and God Eater are considered like the poor boys versions of hunting games, but I have never really gotten into Monster Hunter. I gave it maybe an hour. I know that's probably not enough time into this day and age, but I just didn't like how slow paced and deliberate it was. Tokiden has the cool stuff like the air combos. They actually buffed the knives moveset and they added the whole air dash and stuff like that. I think Tokiden 2 is a pretty monumental improvement over the last one, and I put about 200 hours into the Age of Demons and Kiwami, so I would like to get out some guides for that, but I don't know how long the game is, even if you skip the cutscenes or match the text and stuff like that. So I would like to get that out regardless. If I can't get the game funded through my family or through you guys, then I will probably do it when my Patreon comes in. So I'll go ahead and just post in here how this channel has, positively influenced you or affected you throughout the past year, because it's been very difficult to run the channel through all the shit I've had to deal with. Let me know there. I will go ahead and choose some winners. I'll go ahead and I'll post a list of all the stuff that I have to give away in the description, and you guys can choose what you want from there. I'll probably choose a couple winners from here, and then on Sunday I'll be doing a birthday stream because honestly I don't have much else to do at all. I'm probably going to go pick up my free meal from Red Robin and then just chill out the rest of the day unless things change. I'll let you guys know. So thanks for enjoying the Tales run and all the other stuff I've done for River City Ransom. I hope that once these hand pains reduce a little bit and I'm more stabilized, I'm less anxious all the time, that I'll be able to return to good content, which you guys will see with